What if I told you that you could literally upgrade your brain? Well, today, we're going to dive into the science of this amazing little molecule that you can actually control to do exactly that, and it's called BDNF. So let me ask you a question. What if you could actually fertilize your brain? I mean, for real. Imagine just helping it grow stronger, learn things way faster, and remember everything better. It sounds like sci-fi, right? But believe it or not, the science here is totally real. Okay, so what exactly is this stuff? Well, the star of our show today is BDNF. Now that's a mouthful. It stands for Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. But honestly, all you need to remember is that simple analogy. It's fertilizer for your brain. It's this super important protein that, not only keeps your current brain cells in tip-top shape, but actually encourages new ones to grow and form new connections. Pretty incredible. But honestly, calling it fertilizer is just scratching the surface. BDNF is more like the master architect of your brain. It's constantly working, designing and redesigning, maintaining this incredibly complex network up there. So let's take a closer look at exactly what it's doing. So BDNF is a real workhorse juggling four supercritical jobs. First up, it's the fuel for something called synaptic plasticity. That's just a fancy way of saying it helps your brain physically change and rewire itself whenever you learn something new. Then, number two, it's essential for locking in your long-term memories. Third, it actually helps create brand new brain cells, a process called neurogenesis, especially in the hippocampus, which is your brain's memory hub. And last but not least, it's like a bodyguard for your neurons, shielding them from damage and decay. It's doing a lot. Okay, so we've established that having lots of BDNF is a really, really good thing, which of course means that when those levels drop, well, that can be a serious problem. And this is where things get pretty important. And yeah, the research on this it's pretty sobering, to be honest. Low levels of BDNF have been linked to a whole bunch of really serious issues. We're talking things like major depression, schizophrenia, and that cognitive decline that can happen as we get older. It's even flagged as a risk factor for diseases like Alzheimer's. To put it simply, when your BDNF is low, your ability to learn and remember just takes a nosedive. So keeping those levels up, absolutely crucial. Right about now, you might be thinking, okay, but isn't this all just, genetics? Isn't it just baked into my DNA? And that's a totally fair question. It's so easy to think our brain chemistry is just set in stone from birth. And look, genes definitely play a part, but I promise you, they do not tell the whole story. Let's get into a specific example here. There's this super common genetic variation. You can think of it like a slightly different flavor of the BDNF gene. Now, about 30% of people with European ancestry have a version called the MET allele. And what this does is it can make their BDNF release a little less efficient. This can sometimes lead to, say, slightly poorer performance on memory tasks when compared to folks with the more common VAL version. So yeah, our genes can definitely give us different starting points. But, and this is the most important part, your genetic starting line is not your destiny, not even close. Because while things like chronic stress or just the normal aging process can drag your BDNF levels down, there's a whole list of lifestyle choices that can actively crank them right back up. It just goes to show that what we do, day in and day out, has a massive impact on our brain's health. So, that brings us to the good stuff, the playbook. Let's really break down the practical, hands-on things you can actually do to boost your brain's own natural fertilizer. Okay, before we get into the whole list, I have to stop and talk about the undisputed heavyweight champion of boosting BDNF, and that is regular aerobic exercise. Seriously, the research shows it can triple the amount of BDNF your brain makes. Just let that sink in for a second. 3 times more. That is a huge, huge impact from something that is completely 100% in your control. All right, so here it is, your BDNF boosting playbook. Number 1, obviously, is exercise. Then you've got to challenge your brain. Learn a new skill, a new language, something tricky. Next, make quality sleep a real priority. Your brain does its repair work overnight. Of course, you need to fuel it with a great diet. And finally, you have to manage your stress. Things like meditation or yoga are great for this because they help lower cortisol, which is a total BDNF killer. And speaking of diet, if you're looking for some specific heavy hitters, here are a few all-stars. You've got salmon, which is just packed with those amazing omega-3s. Blueberries are absolutely loaded with antioxidants. And things like green tea and turmeric have these powerful compounds called polyphenols. All of them are just fantastic for supporting healthy BDNF. So what's the big picture here? What's the main takeaway? It's this. Your brain is not some fixed, static thing. It's alive, it's constantly changing, and you get to have a say in which direction it changes. There's this quote from the scientific literature that just says it perfectly. Environmental experiences dynamically influence mature BDNF levels. That's not just some feel-good saying, okay? That is a hard scientific fact. It means that what you do, what you eat, how you think, how you rest, all of it is actively shaping your brain's chemistry right now and for the future. Look, at the end of the day, the science is crystal clear. Your brain is always a work in progress. It is constantly adapting and changing based on what you do. So the only question that's really left is for you. Knowing what you know now, how are you going to direct its growth?